All right. And then I'm gonna reintroduce everybody again. So
Yeah.
this is conscious or crazy, in a sense, knowing what's right, what's wrong, versus a mentally unsound mind. This is conscious said, conscious or crazy. I got some unique guests of the, not no guests, family members of the Vibe, Equals Tribe movement. That's what we're doing over here. So one by one, we're gonna introduce each other, and then we're gonna get into this content. Kevin Samuel.
Yes, let's do this.
All right. So go on ahead. Anybody?
I guess I'll introduce myself first, and I'm gonna keep it short because I was just blabbing a bit. My name is HATHOR-SEKHMET L. I am the owner of Hathorians. I do many other things, but I definitely focus on the spiritual advisor, teaching, readings, etc., etc. I'm gonna pass it to Mr. Colorado, Mr. Howard.
I'm Howard out in Colorado. As I was saying earlier, I'm just thankful to be here. I think the biggest opportunity is for us to continue talking and sharing. I don't know if you'll have this in the show notes or whatever, but this conversation is about learning about each other. I think what brought me here is that I have a brand or a title and an image I go by called Only Black Cosmonaut. And it means one dark universe. And I call myself the Cosmo. I have a spacesuit and this whole idea about shining your inner light and being the Cosmo or the cosmic version of yourself. We all got a lot of work to do. So I'm willing to always talk about my difficulties and my journeys. And again, just stand up for that. You mentioned the whole Kevin Samuel thing and whatnot. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm, capable of taking up any role like that, but I will agree there's a conversation, that could be always said about anything on that topic, but just for men and women to get better. So I want to be in representation of that. That's who I am.
All right. And then Louisiana, soul sister from Louisiana.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Milan. I'm a person who's just starting on my spiritual journey, connecting with my ancestors. I'm very open to thinking outside of the box. Talking about, breaking generational curses, things that, people have never really talked about for generations and decades, and just bringing certain things to light, especially with the melanated community. So
Definitely.
Positive.
Hey, man, let's get into it, man. Let's see, man. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but yeah.
Everybody know that song.
I'm saying, what are we going to talk about that? What I put up about them saying that white women.
Yeah, elaborate. Because all right, so that's my first question.
Let's go to the post, and y'all gonna weigh in on it. Let me go. I think I put it up on Facebook. But it's just that it's almost like sometimes they put these things up to make racial tension. And I just had to kind of like chime in and say that it's not all racial tension. Okay, so this is the post. At work, the white girls are usually always married by 25-ish. And Black women are pushing 30 or 30 plus, still trying to tie down a monogamous relationship. I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but it's a problem.
Yeah.
And
something I was listening to, he pretty much broke down how, it's, instead of, weddings and all that, instead they going to weddings while we just going to the club in the summer. Like, you know what I'm saying? How that, and it's true, man. I know some people in Atlanta, clubbing, living there, etc. But
I'm so against this. I'm so against this.
So dive into it.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna let y'all go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I think that definitely it sounds like the ladies will have something first to say, but for the men or for myself, again, it comes back to the conversation we having at home. Statistically, we're not having the same conversation that white girls are having at home. Black girls are not having the same conversation. Right. So some of us, if we're not single mothers, then, we've been told to kind of wait for the right guy. These white girls kind of have the opportunity to be out here and be free and try their chances. and still be considered like probably worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Where a Black woman
Mhm.
seems to have this tarnishability, like over time she might not be worth it, you know. So you got to try to either snatch her up early, but then she might have the feeling of, I don't want to be snatched up early, I want to find myself first. So the conflict of I want to be myself first, and you have possibly the Black man thinking that I actually want to get with you now, and then the white folks thinking something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And then we live amongst each other, we're friends, we're going to have lunch, we're having these conversations, but we're not really having the conversation.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you're going to always feel some way about it. I always try to remember that even though we living together, we don't experience the same thing. So they might be right there next to me, but we're not experiencing it the same way. And it might be difficult, you know, because there's some Black men that like white women that like Black men, and Black women that like white men. It's so beyond the, and
my
then
cousin. My cousin gone.
hey bro, hey, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, you know. But to me, it still starts with the conversation at home. So I agree.
Yeah,
I agree
like
with you.
Milan's perspective, definitely. Like I'll weigh in last, but
No, go ahead.
I feel like to be
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
To be honest, I feel like Black women get a bad rep. They're like,
Mhm.
you know, it's like they just have people always have something negative to say about Black women, and white women can get away with so many things, you know. And it's
Mhm.
like, you know, growing up, basically, like I said, I'm really from New Orleans, but due to Hurricane Katrina, me and my family, we moved to this like this white town outside of Memphis called Cairo, Tennessee. And it was a bunch of white people. I never seen so many white people in my life before. And you know, I went there, you know, I lived there like middle school to high school. And it's like we went to school around a lot of rich white girls, and there was a big difference. Like they were used to having everything, you know, like their whole attitude and perspective was so different from Black girls. You know, a lot of Black girls that was, well, some of the Black girls that was there, because there wasn't a lot of Black people, they was real like insecure. They didn't think that much of themselves. And it's like the white girls like, oh my God, like, yes, you know, get the good boyfriends, you know, get the always on vacation with their family and stuff. And it's like the Black families, you know, they couldn't afford that type of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we're
it's
missing
definitely
the
a different
whole
conversation.
aspect. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just talking with her. I agree with you, Milan. I agree with you that there's definitely a different set of standards. You know, they living by it, they playing by it, and it could happen right in front of you. You mentioned real quick here, you saying that you've never seen that much white people. You know, it's definitely due to your demographics. I'm fortunate or unfortunate to be in probably one of the most whitest states out there. So if you come here, all you see is white. So you can't, it's hard to separate yourself from it if you don't remember how to look at yourself, you know, like in and out. So you're right. It's definitely not fair, like straight up and down. And it starts to fuck with you. So
do we truly think it's just race? Like, why is it race? Like, why is always race baiting to go into race of why a man or a woman don't want to get married, or why do they want to come together? Why? I think
well, that's only in
this is
America,
race
I think.
baiting. I think this is race baiting against women.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's very predominant in America.
But I do want to get into what was when I was originally talking about it, is that I know it's definitely a spiritual aspect for Black people, and just in general people at a whole, is that your Saturn's return plays into this about you getting married or wanting to get married. And then there's other aspects of, you can be naturally polygamous. You can be naturally a monogamous person. But you know, these things go into spiritual aspects. Like the Saturn's return happens and you have to go and review of your 20s. So really the universe looks at you like you're not even an adult yet until you cross that line of 30. So when Saturn comes into your life, that's like the father. The father comes in lessons. He's like the teacher. So when that age of 27 to 29, you're getting lessons and you're in review in your 20s. you're looking back at all the shit you were doing in your 20s, and you have to go in reflection of what do I need to fix before I go into adulthood. So why would you be worried about marriage at that time? Most marriages end during that Saturn's return and end up in divorce. Why not wait until you go through that threshold and then decide to get married? So that's the thing is that a lot of Black women be like, I want to get married. I want to get married. There may be other aspects where they're monogamous. Most earth signs can be very monogamous because they like mundane, they like the routine. But there's other people who have aspects where I do soul contracts where they're portal children and they're supposed to get married. Some people are not supposed to be married. Some people come here to be a hermit and do hermit work. That's more people who are born in September. So if you're born in September, you're not even really supposed to be married at all.
DMX was supposed to have 17 kids. You know, Richard Pryor was supposed to move how he was,
DMX was supposed to have those children. Most people who had that energy of 12 or 3 in their chart or in their birthday, they have high energy. So they have energy to have children, a lot of children. So they're meant to be polygamous. Most fire signs are polygamous.
They ain't in trouble. So I think that ties into my next point. Like Mulan sent me a video yesterday on cheating, and he called a woman a homewrecker because her man cheated on you. Like that's crazy. But like you said, people are naturally poly,
and then what is cheating?
Exactly.
Again, what is your relationship in relation to that word alone? The idea of whether it be you align yourself with the stars or you just align yourself at best with your conversation. I think that word has just have this negative connotation, but it might just be a way to understand the energy of it. To cheat something or to be like a cheetah is to be quick and fast, but at its own pace. So relationships kind of come at its own pace, and to cheat is kind of to cut that pace. So if you think of it like energy work, why would someone want to cut that pace? It's probably because there's something going on in that relationship that's not aligned for them.
Exactly.
Right?
They're in disharmony.
There's no balance. So or there's not an awareness of balance. So there might be, but they just feel imbalanced about it. So when they come, go ahead.
One of my favorite comics, he pretty much broke down cheating as happiness outside. Like it's a man stepping out his own house to find happiness behind your back. You know what I'm saying?
What about that woman find happiness because she ain't getting what she want?
And then he said cheating is for you. It's like cheating.
Yeah.
But nah, he had good points. But I feel like you got to know what you get into, and you got to know if you're poly. You shouldn't waste no time with
sometimes looking, sometimes talking to an ex, sometimes having too many friends on social media is considered that, especially when you step into a relationship, you're not aware of what's going on.
But
men and women be crazy.
How do you know what you are?
You don't. How do you know? Well, I thought you were going to ask another question. I apologize. How do you know what you are? I don't know how to answer that directly, more than it's a part of your process. Learning who you are is learning where you want to be, what you want to do. And when we come to relationship and trying to understand each other, it's hard. It's hard. If it was that easy, we would all be dating the same type of women and we would all be dating the same type of men. If that'll be that, we might just be one being fucking each other. We don't even have any separate nation to us or separatialities, but here we are trying to communicate and figure out a way together to a point we could be man or woman and be doing the same thing now, or feeling that we own the same space. If I ain't happy, then I might have to do something. Okay, that's usually a man's thing, and then a woman has to deal with it. And then now it's like a relationship thing, and we either deal with it or we don't.
But I feel like me and you can agree. Men are simple. We simple, man. We simple, man.
We try to keep it like that. We try to keep it
simple.
like that. I'll definitely speak on that note, but here I am right now. Just last few hours here, I spent a lot of time thinking about like, what exactly do I want?
Yeah.
If I'm so simple, like in this conversation as being a man, I want to be cared for. I want to care for something like protected, you know, and I want food and shelter, like keeping it cave. Like if I just want those kind of basic necessities, why do I still find myself asking for more? Why do I still consider the word cheating or consider the word polygamy or consider the word love or not love? Like, again, if I'm out here being simple, like you're saying, why am I in this space? And if we want to really check it, especially in society, men run everything. Everywhere a woman looks, anywhere a man who's conscious looks, it's all about men. It's all about men. Everything almost looks like dicks everywhere. So think how hard it is for a woman to try to be a woman, much less a man to try to even hold the image of what he thinks a man is. And then there's yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm simple enough to believe I like food and shelter, but then what if I'm not a provider in her eyes? Am I now not a man?
That ties into a video I checked out yesterday. Some woman divorced her man because he didn't have a great income, but he was a good father. You know what I'm saying? He kept the house, like he was Mr. Mom. You know what I'm saying? He kept, but she divorced him because she wanted more and find out she couldn't get more, couldn't find
Good
nobody.
for her. Good for her. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the kids,
exactly.
But that's good.
Exactly.
You don't want to stay in that. You know, listen, divorce lawyers are out here making millions off of us not being able to have.
I think she should have really found out what could help him make money, not just kick him to the curb. I always look at that.
She didn't try that before.
Like, how do you make? How can we make money together, or maybe we even save ourselves breath about even dealing with each other? Because just going back to what you were saying, Howard, about how relationships, like how we don't know each other, there's spiritual tools for us to understand aspects of each other. Hate to talk about Brother Polite, but I remember going to his seminar and he was talking about how astrology had helped him to deal with the women and to know them and to look at aspects. And even my own teacher, who was an astrologer, he would pull up people's charts and he would pull up his wives' charts and he would look at them and know how to deal with them. There are tools to understand each other where it's not going to save everything, but it's going to save some time. Like, not all of us are meant to be together. Like me and you, I could look at your chart and be like, oh, me and you just supposed to do business together. But me and Seth are meant to have a relationship, but it's a relationship where we just fucking. That energy can be incompatibility, but there could be compatibility that he was my husband or he's meant to be, we're compatible enough to be in a relationship with each other. So I'm just saying that, there are tools. It's just that we don't really know what they are or how to actually use them.
Well, let's put some space. Well, let's put some space to that conversation of the tools, though. Let's put some space to the conversation of the tools. Like, we have these tools, but how much of those tools do we really believe in? Like, do we really believe in these tools? Because your parents use some tools, and do you think their tools work?
I don't think they use any tools at all. I think they just
had to have these tools. Maybe their tools were just archaic.
And my grandparents, my grandmother, she got married at 14. Like I know it's two different things. And then my grandfather, hey, was he perfect? He was moving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was exchanging energy with other, but they married for, till he passed away, sadly.
Right. And here I would look how long they was married.
Yeah.
Like, that's a young age. Nowadays, that's not even what we're thinking about. But here we are looking at them as example of how long they've been together. My grandparents was together for like 20, they just worked it out. Yeah, well, they also got together when they were like very young children.
Right.
So we've had the opportunity
to technology like what we have right now.
Right. We've had the opportunity to grow into ourselves.
So exactly. I be telling people miss me with that.
We've
Miss
had
me
that
that.
opportunity to grow into a self or even a version of ourselves before we considered even love, before we considered even wanting to be loved by anybody else other than our family and ourselves.
Yeah.
They didn't have that opportunity as we see it. Now, who knows why, and there's all these other realities, but we're trying to figure it out. What's the problem here? Why is it that if me and you are having a conversation, me and you as guys having a conversation about a woman, we can feel comfortable enough to go back to that woman and talk to her in the same breath about it? Like, why do we always have to have these separate conversations? Like, me and you have a conversation, but I can't have the same conversation with her and I. Like, literally can't. Why not? Why not? Why not? If I'm not in trying to hurt her feelings and she's not trying to hurt mine, because there's that's all that space too. Women, especially Black women, have been very comfortable with being able to shame Black men, but we can't do that in return. Now, it's not a fault thing. Oh yeah. It's easy for y'all to
same things to each other when we get this. You're doing this and I do this.
No.
That's
hard now.
What I'm getting at, it's easy for a Black woman to say he ain't shit, go to his job, go to his car. And it's easy for y'all
to do the same thing.
Let me finish. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is a part of our actions. We're equal in action. I'm saying the result of it. If I come up to your job and make an action and you need to call somebody, you're gonna call the police, right? You're gonna call another man to come protect you. If you come to my job and you act up like that, who am I gonna call?
Your sister, your big sister, your auntie?
No, I'm gonna call another man.
Your big homie? Your big homie?
No, the cops. It's not even nothing like that.
I'm just playing.
No, and what I'm trying to get at is that's cool too. You know, as when I punch out, I can figure that out. What I'm saying, just the point of it is that we have come to a point where we're not even allowed to share openly, so that if Seth and I sit here and say like, yo, let's talk about vaginas real quick. And then in like, listen, bro, all right, so you think you can go over here and talk to her like that? No, you can't. So that's my point. There's a time and
place for everything.
That's true.
And then there's the opportunity to feel like you can have that conversation.
Why
and
though?
That's what I'm getting. What do you mean? If I need to,
why do the conversations that two men have to necessarily have a concern that a woman wants to be involved in them? Maybe she
not that she wants to be involved with them. Sorry, what's that?
Because it's not her world. We have worlds within worlds within worlds. So that's a man's world. So when y'all talking about relationships, I got a yoni. Why the hell I want to talk about other people's yoni? That's like even in the strip clubs. Like, I'm not into, like, I got titties. If I want to shake, I can shake my body in front of the mirror. I don't want to see other people's titties and ass.
Right.
You know, that's a man's world. But if another woman, if she want to be in it, you gotta find that woman that want to be in that world. But
I was gonna say that world don't exist without the woman. It's the man's world, but it's not our world without the woman in it. So I'm not trying to say we can't have the conversation because it's not your world or my world. I'm saying that being comfortable to just wanting to have the conversation. So let's say she's open enough to want to hear that shit. I want to know that I'm able to comfortable and not systematically feeling like there's a stereotype
about. Like, what are you wanting to talk about? Because not everything
doesn't matter.
Need to be.
I feel like
it doesn't matter.
I feel like men, we can't really be whole truthful. I feel we can't tell the whole truth because it'd be unfair. It'd be unfair.
Tell me straight up what's up. Like, tell me what the fuck is up.
Right. I want to be able to talk to you.
But my reaction is, hey, let me, if I need to let off on your ass and we go at it and then we come back to women, fine.
Women have this opportunity to go off. As long as we can do that. Why would you need to go off? Where are you going off to?
I might not agree with it, but let me get through it and I can figure it out.
Who said it had to be an agreement thing? A conversation doesn't have to have an agreement.
Because women are naturally chaotic.
You see what I'm saying? It's
because women are naturally chaotic.
Those are your words. So if you're chaotic, then let's figure it out together. Because I don't want to leave you just because you're chaotic. Good. So when you're done with that, can we have a conversation?
It's just Well, actually, I was thinking about something that one of y'all brought up about figuring things. I mean, about the money thing, about the woman divorcing the man because of the money. It's funny because growing up, I was told, don't get with a man that's broke. Get with a man with a lot of money so he can take care of you
Sugar
and
daddy.
the kids. But from me, my perspective, I don't want a man to be worried about me. I want to have my own. I mean, I don't mind it, but it's just like, you know, I want to be the one to have my own things. You know what I'm saying? If I do marry a man that doesn't take care of me, that's okay. But it's like at the end of the day, I still want to have my freedom. I still want to have my bank account. I still want to be able to do for myself, and I become handicapped to the point where if something happened to him, I wouldn't know how to do for myself because that happens.
It does.
Yeah.
So
I've been through it. Where,
Yes.
a man paid for everything in my life, even the underwear that I had on my ass. And when he got mad, sometimes he took all my shit out and threw it out on the porch in front of my children. So I know
that's
a man
awful.
has full control over your life.
Yeah, the money, yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't look like what I've been through, but I've been through it. So I know when a man has that control over your life and he starts to control you. So yeah, I always say keep a separate bank account. My mama always taught me that for sure.
So much energy here.
Yeah, I got a lot of fire. That's why
No, just with us
it's
four, just us four.
yeah.
I'm feeling a sense of balance. Just even when I hear Milan talk, like there's so much conviction in her speech that it doesn't require much definition. Like she's experiencing, like you're saying, Milan, you're coming into your spiritual path and you're coming into the journey like in conversation. You're literally trying to talk about it openly. So not even trying to figure out if you're in a relationship, just assuming as you learn more about yourself, you're going to want to talk to somebody, right? And the more you learn, maybe you're going to want to find a comfortable space to talk about it more. That's what we need. We need to be comfortable with in regards of now in this conversation of us having this group, it's about relationship. So if you're a woman and are you into your partner, no matter what it is, you're going to want to need to feel comfortable with your partner, right?
Right, I definitely
maybe
agree
not
with
about
that,
and maybe not about everything. So we got to figure out what those things are and be comfortable enough to be like, all right, well, we can't talk about that.
I love how Howard, you did a low-key little snipe underneath of comparing me and Milan low-key and didn't think I caught it. But
I didn't notice that.
She
How
don't
did I do
require
that?
much definition in her voice. That's her voice, and that's how she carry herself.
Right. That's a balance.
Like my
said there was a balance.
Balance. It's balance. But yeah.
So tell us more.
Because I'm reading your face right now.
Oh.
Yes.
Mr. Highly Critical.
So quick question. So what?
Who's highly critical?
So we had a conversation how you felt, well, you felt men nowadays are more sensitive, but
definitely.
But we don't like. Do y'all like man's like a Kevin Samuels or a Cedric Kirksey? I feel like I'm a man's man. You know, I don't talk. I studied my grandfather. He didn't talk. He just paid the bills. Chilled in his chair. We broke something. He yelled, "Hey man, we never heard you talk. What's going on?" So, stuff like that.
People don't want to talk. There are people who don't like talking.
Exactly. But I feel like I could have got so much information from him if he was open communicating. Some stuff I'm figuring out because he didn't talk much. But yeah, I feel like we got to pass on the torch, but sometimes it's not passed and sometimes it's figured out. I feel
It
like
starts with
parents, you. We need to.
It starts with you.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Exactly.
What do you want? Yeah. What do you want? Because maybe he didn't want to talk, to her point, to Elle's point. Maybe he didn't want to talk, but you want to talk.
Exactly.
So you bring him up at least to try to figure it out.
Exactly.
My dad is definitely not the talkative type. I would agree with you there. I have that direct experience. Maybe that's why I got into trouble in school a lot for talking too much.
Oh, yeah,
because I had no one to talk to.
Yeah.
And the teacher was always like, shut up. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it right now. What do you mean right now? Okay, I'm gonna stop. Give me a second. Why are you doing this? Antagonizing, right? So maybe it was working, because here we are generations later talking about this shit, trying to figure out where can we get better, even though we know we have a long way to go.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Exactly.
What do you want?
Balance. Yeah.
I want balance.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna die getting it. I'm okay with that.
I think I feel like some of us, it's true.
I just want to. Are we speaking when we say what do we want personally, or what do we want as a whole, as a community, as Black
That's a
people?
good question. That's
Yeah,
a good question. What do you say, Said?
I feel like, we just need that, like you just said, community, because to tie it back to our last conversation, if a brother say, hey, you know what I'm saying, I like your vibrations, like, why you don't smile? Like, smile. it's like, damn, that shouldn't be a beef.
I don't
like,
want to smile.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Yeah.
want to smile. It's like, get
I
out
don't
my
have
face.
to.
And
But why does he have to smile for anybody? Like, that's just like
doesn't.
that's
and
a
then
command.
it shouldn't be a
He was
pickup
wrong.
line.
He was wrong. Yeah, he was wrong.
Exactly. It shouldn't be a pickup.
I'd say he was wrong for sure.
Exactly.
You
It
don't,
should be a
you
pickup
don't,
line. Exactly. I feel like it should be peace. You shouldn't force somebody to smile, but it should be like a common ground with
Like,
our,
make me
we
smile.
melanated. We should just get along off the rip. They get along.
give her a reason to smile. Exactly.
Yeah,
Don't
make
ask
me
Give her a
smile.
reason to smile.
That's a
Exactly.
joke.
Exactly.
Since you
Tell a
want it
joke.
so much.
Tell a joke. I feel like
Right,
I feel like we need to, break down these walls we have, because
Very true.
some people scared to talk to women because like, oh, she mean mugging. But she could be the nicest person in the world. Like,
Or they could be like thinking their mom was mean to them, so now all women mean. Like making up shit, like offending other women based off their past experiences.
And then they go to a white woman because they're like, oh man, she's so easygoing, man. Shit.
She ain't his mama.
Howard, when is your birthday? Are you an air sign? Are you Aquarius? Are you a Gemini?
Who you said?
Howard.
Me?
You.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Funny enough, I died twice before I was actually named. I was renamed. So when I came into this dimension, I was born on the 23rd of July, 1980. 4 days after that, brought into the hospital, diagnosed and pronounced dead. I was said to be reborn. So what's that? 23, 24, 20, the 26, 27. I'm a Leo, rising sign Libra, sun sign Leo, moon sign Sagittarius.
You over there fire.
Hey,
here we are.
Fire, man. Hey,
but I'm also, but like I said, with Sagittarius and also being Leo and also being Libra, you're also left to be by yourself a lot. My numerology is all about 5, 7, 2, 3, alignment with 11 and balance. So
where you get the 2 from?
Sorry?
Where you get that 2 from? I see the 7, 5, but what's the 2?
Sorry, 7, 2, 3, 80. So if I just do the month and the 23, or 23 is 5, 5 is my number.
You 9, you 2, you 7, 2, 9, because the 9 is reflective.
Well, in regards of the day, I look at it the first day I came, so 7/23/80. Or are you saying from the day I came back?
I'm talking about just your birthday numerology, the numeral numbers of the month, the day, and the year. You're 7, 5.
1980.
9.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
So if I add up 1980, you're gonna get 759. So that 9 it would explain your hermit, and then you naturally being spiritual and something in the arts, or you talking there.
Yeah, and
yes,
I had to understand you first because,
Thank you.
I bring out Sekhmet first before Hathor truly comes out. They come out.
I appreciate you
within themselves. So I just need.
And that's I'm trying to do the same thing with you and Milan. Like, said it's okay. We out here. We met, but like he was fortunate enough to have both of you willing to talk. Like we don't know each other. Like I don't know none of y'all. I mean, I know said, but then again, I don't. So here we are all on this Saturday talking to strangers, but hopefully trying to find some connection. Something we can go back to our 4 little corners on and figure out how to make this shit more powerful.
That ties into my next question. How long do we really know a person? Like, exactly.
What you say, El?
Lifetimes. You can know somebody for lifetimes.
Yeah, old souls.
Milan, what you say?
You got soulmates, you got twin flames, you got people that are classmates that you came here from another place with.
Yeah.
You got soul groups.
Miss Richards, what you say? Or Miss
It's
Richard?
It's not, yeah, it's Richard. I definitely would
Richard,
say
sorry.
like a past relationship, friendships, like, you know, you might meet somebody and you feel like this, you know, this click that you can't explain. It could be somebody you knew from another, you know, a lifetime that's come and y'all have rekindled in this lifetime. So exactly what what's her name? What's her name?
Hathor.
Yeah. Exactly what Hawthorne was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I think we all can agree. I don't know, man. I think who's ever willing to share like their personal journey is what makes it also more genuine to understand where people are coming from when they want help. Like, I'm the first to say that regardless of my astrological snapshot and how I came into this renamed and all these things, I still want help. I want it so bad that I'm willing to put aside my magic, not for the greater of my good, but for the greater to figure out each other's good. I don't want to outshine, but it's hard for me not to. And there's a balance where I have to continue learning how to not deny that. And when we look at America, you know, there's this idea. And then when you say fuck all of that, as a person, as a being, there's still a sense of balancing with your world around you. It's a lot of work, man. And I can't do it alone.
If you really want the help, would you even be open to somebody telling you that? Like, really telling you what's going on with you?
Yeah, no, it's been, so in the past, no. And I've learned where I was wrong completely. I don't have an excuse for it. I'm still working through those conversations at best, but they've all been confronted enough that whether they're with me anymore or gone, I'm a brand new version of myself. So nothing has changed. I'm just working on it. So I can say from my experience that it's hard. And to your point, if it's a general statement, then it's hard for a lot of dudes because I didn't have my dad. So I think that's what made it easier for me to be open. If I had him, I would probably be like him. And he don't talk. You know, his wanting him in my life growing up and not having him was like this blessing and this curse. Because with no father figure, I was left to certain things that if he was there, it probably would have been better, but he wasn't. So deal with it.
And I feel like this is one post I posted, you know, as iron sharpens iron, you know, so one man sharpens another through influence and another brother, you know, through, you know, discussion. And I feel like we need to have it on both sides. And I feel like it might be a disconnect on the other side, but I feel like it is a connect. But overall, I know that at the end of the day, it is more women than men on this planet, period. Not
Gotta
even
be.
us, our race.
Gotta be.
It's more women on this planet.
That came from us.
Exactly. Got a name from a woman, got a game.
Hey, we birthing y'all. What do you expect?
Why we shame our women? Why do we hate our women? You know, but I feel like the masses of men definitely respect women. I just feel like the masses. I feel like maybe still a number.
Yeah, we letting a few men not. We letting the few that are not good men get away with too much, but we're still responsible for letting them do that. So we're letting them do that, and we're still responsible for letting them do that. So it's this, and I don't know, man. I don't have guy friends. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't want guy friends. We cool to build. I'm here for you again this early morning. I might hit you up once or twice, but that's about it.
You carry a lot of masculine energy to say you don't have any male. I'm sorry, to say you don't have any. Okay, what I'm trying to say is
that's
you
been
carry
a struggle
lot
of
of
my
masculine
life.
energy to say you don't have any female friends.
How many homies have you had?
Why do you say he carries a lot of masculine energy, Mom?
He just does. He just does. He has a lot to say. He's very direct about it. Like, I could just feel it through the phone.
That's my guy. That. That's why I brought him on.
I get that.
I get a different take on you.
I get that. What do you feel, Elle?
Leos often put up that front, but they really, really have that soft inner side. And you're a lover boy, reading your face.
Yo, I ain't trying to diss
I love my
fall
mama.
in love quickly.
I love my mama.
Disappointed by love, but there's a thing with you just being highly critical of yourself and everybody around you. So your face needs to change. Not saying that you're Not saying that you're not a nice looking man, because you are. It's
No, I know what you, or I feel I know what you mean.
Your eyes go down. And that's
no, I've struggled with depression for years.
It can change though. Your eyes can go up, but you are dealing with some hurt and some blocks. And if I did look into your chart with your father, we could pinpoint what happened and look at him and see what happened, because you love to talk.
Yeah,
you love
do.
to talk. You have elongated speech and you're very bold. You can be a little
listen. I
yeah.
write books. I write books. I have podcasts. I rap. I sing.
That's
whatever.
how consciousness works.
Yeah, it's from the throat.
Yeah, my father, my stepfather, he's a Leo, and this brother, you know what I'm saying, he's a buff dude, you know, but he'd be the first to cry. Like, man, what's going on? Like, I ain't trying to diss him, Pop. I love you, Pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
it's okay to, hey, Leos have hearts, buddy. That's
then,
the whole,
I say the Wiz. Y'all like the Wiz?
Yeah, the Wiz. There you go. There you go. That's what I was trying to remember.
Lion.
And then the only time I cry, then the only time I cry is like in an argument. Like it just at once. Like seriously, like that's the only time I cry. Not watching a sad movie. This one movie I watched called City of Angels. I was laughing because it was terrible. Like, it's called City of Angels, man. Yeah, it's a good.
I think I know that movie.
The ending made me laugh. I was like, man, this is stupid.
It made you laugh.
I should have cried, but I laughed instead. Like,
who's got some blocks out here? I don't know, man. Somebody got some blocks.
I think most times Scorpios are misunderstood. I'm a Scorpio born on 11/3/1982. So usually if you ain't speaking raw enough for us, if you hiding something,
they're gonna find it.
Yeah, we trying to find out what's this. You know, we want to know everything before you know anything about us. But
look at the nature of a Scorpion. Yeah, no. 100%.
Yeah, I'm an open book, and it's just like if I can spar with you and you can slap me back, then good. I'm that type of person. Like, fuck with me. Like, let's see if we can go, and then we can calm it back down.
Did you have
find that neutral area? That's why I feel like sometimes men misunderstand me. Like, I need you to go with me to make sure that you can keep up with me, and then I know to neutralize myself, and then know how to work with you. But I gotta know you got some kahunas. Like, if you weak, I'm gonna run all over you. I'm gonna spin circles around your consciousness and then send you off to your mama. I need you to know that you can stand on your square.
So you can grow up.
Or I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. I'm from Baltimore.
Said you was about to say something.
We raw here. Like, you don't get that. You don't get that. Just you get that one shot and then it's beat it, scram.
What was your question you was about to ask, brother?
No, feeding off her energy real quick, like, and what I feel she was saying to me about my past, like, and the women, it's for both you women, and you can answer yes or no, and that's honestly what I'm looking for, but you can elaborate. Did you, yes or no, did you have a what you would consider a traumatic upbringing?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What I find, why I asked that, for women that in the energy of my conversations and people that I get invited into, we all come from this traumatic space. I'm not saying that women who can't find themselves open enough to talk, but it's the one who are strong enough to go back in themselves and find themselves.
There you go.
That those are the women these soft ass men need. Right, you know, but we strong, we masculine, we come along. But to Milan's point, and I'm sorry we forgot that, why I don't have a lot of masculine friend or male friends, real simple, is because I don't spend time trying to figure out with a guy friend, what does he want? If we about to hang out or meet up or do something based on meeting, we do it. If you miss the meeting once, I may never meet with you again.
Oh,
I'm dead up like that. I am not a nice guy.
Leaders.
Man,
Leaders like leaders.
No, I am a leader. It's not even like leaders. I am a leader.
There's not a lot of leading, upstanding men.
It's okay. I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm out here.
It's an ego.
And I'll do my best at it.
But if we're talking about lions, if we're talking about lioness, what does the lioness do? The lioness hunts. She has the lion's back. So I'm just saying, you know.
Well, we gonna find each other. How about that? You know, I'm not here to define her path, but I think that's the thing I work through with my father. I'm tired of men in my life as a young boy growing up offering so much control, but doing very little with it. Having so much influence and then leaving it there. I used to be one of those Captain Save a Girl. I wanted to be better than my dad. I wanted to talk with the women that had the problems and be their friend, to the point that was my job in high school. I was just a counselor for women.
But there's balance in everything. You can still love hard, but find that balance. There still has to be that balance of love.
I'm learning.
That's the hardest thing for a lover, a person, because a man or woman can have what we call lover's brow. You have it. Tupac had it. Amarion has it. It's people like that y'all have to find that balance in love. Like that love is going to let you down sometimes. Love is not perfect. And that's how y'all get let down, and y'all keep going through that loop. If you can balance out how much love you give and know who to give it to.
Well, as a fire sign, I'm going to need my water, you know. As a fire sign, I'm going to need my water. As a Libra, as a balance in air sign, I'm going to need my earth, you know. So I'm trying to get better at me. So when I meet her, we can learn about each other. Right. Maybe she already know who the fuck she is, and she's just putting me on the game, and I'm like, okay, you know, like, and I wouldn't have no problem putting a ring on it. But we got to get there.
Exactly. And my question is, well, to the queens, to the soul sisters, do y'all feel, what is the misunderstanding? I guess, what is the misunderstanding on women? And you get asked the same question back to me.
What's the misunderstanding with men?
Yeah. Well, what misunderstandings you guys have with men, and, you know, versus women?
I think women just want to feel loved and accepted. That's what I feel like a lot of women want to feel. They want to know that their man is, you know, with them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel.
I think we need to understand that. I think Black women misunderstood the chaos. The chaos never needed to be controlled. I said that in the last podcast. That's where the problem started. When that divine feminine was only seen as dark and labeled as chaotic and labeled as crazy and labeled as loud. And what if that was a position that she was goddess? If y'all say the Black woman is God and she's always been divine,
listen to her talk.
Be like that, you know.
What if she's screaming from generations?
Leave her alone. That's what we say as Black women. Leave us alone. We were fine in the beginning, and we are fine right now. Let us go through our process. We don't need to tell y'all that. We don't need y'all telling us about our period. We don't need y'all telling us about our bodies and what should go in it and what shouldn't. How we should dress. How we should dye our hair. If we want our hair long. If we want the lashes out to Kalamazoo, let us be. We've been through enough.
Yeah. And then
let us be us for once, because there's always been this tearing apart since the beginning of time. Our chaos never needed to be controlled. It never needed to be altered. It never needed to be anything but what the fuck it was.
They shamed y'all for, you know, not having clothes, you know, history. Like, that's a history lesson. You know, people know what they did to that queen. I forget her name right now. But it's they tried to, you know, compress.
I don't
like when men try to tell Black women, you know, like a lot of Black women that's confident and loud, that you need to tone it down. Why does she need to tone down the nature of who she is for you?
Exactly. Balance and comfort. You shouldn't try to box somebody in. You should never try to do that.
Don't nobody hear Tinkerbells. Nobody never hears Tinkerbells. I go in the hood and I try to be like in my therapy voice, and they be like, "Oh, she sounds so sweet." No, that's how you get God. Like, we ain't always in the nicest environments where we can be so sweet and feminine at times. And then you want to sometimes pipe it down when really it's all a guard. Like, we got that guard up. We got that guard up. Like, I don't know.
I'm a laid back dude. I flip your ass, man. I break a table on you, bro. Like, I know some jiu-jitsu, man. You know.
Hey, men have tried to get out on me over a parking space, just little me by myself. I'm only 5'2", stuff like that. Just dumb stuff. I don't want to talk to you. Please leave me alone. I'm gonna follow you, you dumb bitch. Blah blah blah. Yeah, there's so many things. Like, we know that y'all have problems walking down the street or going through life too, but
it's different.
This tit for tat got an end.
Right.
Like,
it's not the same space.
From beginning of time, it's like, oh, this is too chaotic. Let's name it pagan.
Yep.
It's too chaotic. Let's make the Bible and put them in there as the villain.
Yep. And
to Milan's point, we got to be powerful enough to when we find ourselves in spaces where people are judgmental of our nature, being able to step out of it, being able to step away from that space, maybe find a more inviting space, and maybe creating a space so that Milan and people like her can not have to be in that space. Because sometimes you might have to step into spaces you don't want to. Right. All just to prove a fucking point that you don't want to, but it's almost like that's the only way you're going to get anywhere.
Exactly.
I even hear sometimes when I talk this, like I'm talking right now, I'm not mad about anything, but I could be talking very direct and a white woman look at me like I'm talking, like I'm cussing her out. And I'm just like,
well, you're
being
powerful
with her. And she's saying, oh, she has an attitude. No, I'm just talking to you direct. You don't like
she do this right here. Oh, she about to get her neck wet. Like,
right.
The minute you do this,
like,
and she start doing it too. Like, stop appropriating.
I just know that it's conscious kung fu at all times, and I could slap you with my consciousness before I put my hands on you. You know what I'm saying? Is that you can tap into that consciousness easily, and that's more powerful than putting your hands on anybody ever.
But a question: why do a lot of men in general like to police a woman on how she should look and what she should wear? For instance, I get some. Okay, I get some. I don't see nothing wrong with a woman showing her legs, showing her, little, tummy or whatever. But it's like every time a woman do something that's sensual, it's always like, oh, she's a hoe, and that's not even the truth.
Yeah, it's fear, ego. Once again, ego is misunderstood all the time. It's the ego. It's like, it's like,
But to bring it down to earth, to her point, there's no answer for it. It's just not needed.
Yeah, it's not needed.
You should be able to dress how you want to, and not have to have somebody tell you there's something wrong with it. Right?
Right. Because I remember one day I was wearing this top, and it was like a little crop top, and it was really cute. And my daddy, he had told me to, okay, so basically in my life, my dad, he has a very view of how women should be. Women should be the helpmate. So certain things that would wear, he'd be like, well, you need to take this off, you need to do this, and it's like nothing was wrong with it. And you had that much to say about what I had on and how my hair looked, and you always got something negative to say about me.
Speaking from his fears.
Yeah. 2 words, hot boy summer.
I don't like that.
Y'all be having y'all 3 words, hot boy summer, because y'all be having y'all dicks swang-a-danging in them shorts. Y'all be having y'all little tank tops.
Okay, you can have that.
I'm gonna start screaming out my window. What that dick
the gray sweatshorts, the gray
sweatshorts, y'all little tight little shirts, and we don't say nothing. We let y'all dicks swing past us. We just talk among each other like.
To abbreviate this,
don't abbreviate it. Let it stretch.
Realize I create happiness. So all that is like, it creates happiness for for everybody.
But it leaves a woman feel. All right, let me say this. Sorry, because I'm thinking ahead of what I want to say. I don't think it's right as much as when a man can say, I don't feel comfortable if a woman looking at me or looking at my dick. Right? You can look at his face, he might be cute, but 9 times out of 10, you're only looking in one place for him. For a man, when he's looking at a woman, obviously there's much more to look at. And then you offer us much more to look at with whatever way you're accentuating your naturalness. Yeah. So to sum it up, what I'm getting at, maybe your dad, Milan, or maybe men in general, we continue to be so weak in the worst and good way. Like looking at a woman's beauty, I'm gonna take this space to say how that infatuates the fuck out of me. I love a beautiful woman, not because of these lists, but a woman that is a woman who's beautiful. So that can look like anything. It's in the eye of the beholder. I'm saying that the one who says that and wants to express that is even more attractive. So what's your version? For any man to come up to you and tell you something negative of that version is not needed. It does speak to his fears, right? It might even speak to a whole lot of shit, insecurities, right?
What if I play devil's advocate and say that I think the Kevin Samuels in the world need to be around. I think there needs to be that voice. I think there needs to be that voice for Black men. I do believe there needs to be a voice for Black men. Maybe not necessarily Kevin Samuels, but Kevin Samuels plays his part. You know, just like I say, the Joker and Batman, I really feel like Kevin Samuels plays his part because it's bringing us together to speak. So I still always see that silver lining in that, because I don't never want to make somebody a villain, because I won't want somebody to make me a villain. And I often made that way. So, you know, when we were doing our other podcast, her Rabbit Hole podcast, Danny made up, you know, that point that if you go look at his old stuff, he's been through that stuff. Like he's gone through some shit with women. He's where you now you got this. And it's just like the Joker. When we finally got to see the Joker story, we see the Joker. What? He wasn't always a bad guy. He was misunderstood, but people didn't understand him. So I can see all aspects to a whole, but can he? So that's where he needs to get up to. And that's why I still go back to what I said from the beginning, is their spiritual tools are necessary. Exactly. And I stand by the all-seeing eye of being able to break down people's faces. The world needs this to know the consciousness. We have a spiritual recognition on Facebook, on Google, on all these apps. No. You need to bring your consciousness to where you're able to read everybody in this room and know them. I can bring your point in this room and know them, and that's what
the technology is having a problem being able to scan Black people. That same facial recognition technology, historically or currently, is having a problem with being able to properly recognize Black people. It can recognize white people, it can recognize Asian people, but it can't recognize Black people or anybody with a sense of melanin in their tone. Right?
I think this technology just doesn't understand this at all. Look at that. When we talk
what I was getting, and that's what I was getting at. Yeah. That's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Good point. Is that I think they don't understand it, so we got to understand each other.
And it's for us to redefine that, because they're just going to keep studying us and then giving us this made up image. To Milan's point, no one should be able to tell you anything, but then why does his opinion need to be so dominant? Why does he feel he need to come at you with his opinion? You know what I mean? He can have it. To Kevin Samuel's point, that's all Kevin Samuel has is an opinion.
Me Milan, or are you calling her Milan?
No.
Yeah. Nah.
I call her Miss Richard, and then I keep saying Milan. No, you're Hathor. I'm saying Hathor. I'm saying for the young lady in Louisiana, I'm saying for her, in the conversation, she brought up that her father was judging her attire. I'm saying that regardless of him having to say something, why does he feel, and this is the point of men, I'm speaking for men, we think that just because we have an opinion, it needs to be pushed upon. Like, I need to push my opinion up. Have your opinion. Yeah. To the Kevin Samuels point, he's just a man with an opinion.
Yeah, he's ranking women.
But now he has a platform due to his experience and his history to come out. Okay. You right on everything. Now what? What are we gonna do about it?
Exactly. Having, conversations within the community. That's what needs to happen. And I feel like he's sparking that, and that's great. And I don't agree.
He is needed. He's needed.
He is needed. Yeah, exactly. Just like the Joker is needed for Batman, because he wouldn't be.
You live long enough to see yourself be the villain.
Exactly. Shoot. What's the what's the opinion on the ranking? Because I feel like every woman is beautiful in their own way, inside and out, whatever. Like, I don't believe in that ranking BS he does. I feel like it's disrespectful sometimes, but do you feel like women sometimes can be unrealistic? in a way. Like the points that he's trying to show, he's trying to expose that it's unrealistic. And what y'all feel about that? Because I think that's where he gets
his ranking is unrealistic.
Do you think the females that he had on the show so far, like their thoughts, their ideas are unrealistic?
I kind of feel like you went to ranking and then you went to.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I listen clear. Y'all confused me. Even you going back to you, Howard, when I was like talking about Kevin Samuels, you were saying Milan hadn't even answered the question. I'm sorry. I listen and tune in. Y'all got to come straight.
She was just saying something. She didn't have a question. What was her question?
It wasn't her question. Go back and listen to this because I definitely am.
You said question.
Go back and listen to it.
Okay.
Go back to you. You got me.
I will.
Do you want us to answer about the ranking, or do you want us to answer about?
I guess unrealistic. Do you feel like some women on his platform has been unrealistic?
Of course. I think he brings them on and knowing they're unrealistic. Of course, there's unrealistic
I think the same thing.
I think he brings it on for controversy, but even that ranking shit, like you can rank all you want to, but putting it on the show, if those women want to subject themselves to it, by all means, go on there, get ranked. You know, like I'm saying, but you can come on my show and I'll sure enough can rank your ass too. But I feel like everybody has that thing where they can rank if they want to. And I do believe that, yeah, women come on there with unrealistic things, like unrealistic goals, like, and it may come from upbringing, it may be dealing with astrological aspects within them that, you know, they need material more than another sign or whatever. But yeah, I think he does it purposely though. But a lot of Black women, yeah, we do. We grew up having unrealistic goals, even thinking that we had to get married at 20. You know, or if we didn't get married at 20 or we don't have a baby by before 30, we're washed up and, you know, nobody gonna want us. That's even going back to the beginning thing of, you know, the marriage bullshit is that we are not our mothers and our mothers are not us. And technology is saying so many things and environment has as well. So yeah, we got unrealistic goals. We're looking at social media, we're looking at them getting the bags and, you know, I just heard fucking JT say that, you know, Lil Uzi Vert gave her $35,000. He started sprinkling money down on her. What motherfucker don't want that? You know, you get unrealistic goals in your mind like shit. What girl ain't gonna say, I want Lil Uzi, I wanna be writing that shit down on me. You're gonna be thinking that. So yeah, we got unrealistic goals, but don't just say that we gotta go to source. How the fuck did we get here? How did we get to that point? How did we get here? Why are those unrealistic goals there? It didn't come out of the air. It came from somewhere. Why we have these unrealistic goals? It's the environment, it's technology saying we need more, we want these worlds.
Yeah, programming, yeah.
And men do too. Y'all want the perfect body. Hey, I don't have the perfect body. I don't want to have the perfect body. I don't want to go through surgery. Love me, but no. In his mind, I want the big boobs. I want the big ass. I want this. I want that. There are some men with unrealistic thinking.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like if we keep on saying, I could rank you too. This is all duality. This is all third dimensional thinking.
Yeah. And stats and everything. Like, yeah. It's all to confuse and, you know, delude. I feel it's all to, you know, mess up things and stir things up. But yeah.
I think the anger in my voice is that it could be really simple if we start really using those tools and not just using them as facades or costumes to hide behind.
It would have saved me so less trauma I've been through. Like, yeah, I should have known. All right, she's a water, she's a Scorpio. I gotta stay away from them because I'm fire. It's like, nah.
People get so mad about that. They'll be like, when a guy comes in my inbox and he say, I'll be like, what's your numbers? And I'll be like, it's showing in our numbers, you just supposed to be my friend, or we probably in the same school, or, you know, we're not supposed to get each other because we'll fuck each other up. Do you want that? I had to ask him, do you want that? Do you want us to fuck each other up? Or we can just be friends and be cool, and that never even happens. You got to get to that point, that knowing that ancestral point of what they obviously were doing that was deprogrammed from us and taken away. It was taken away from us, and we got to get back to it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. I guess any other like tools and any other tips and advice for the people, because I feel like we gotta. It's been
Yeah.
overdue. It's been overdue. But yeah, everybody's gonna.
Work on
Yeah.
self-awareness.
Social media is an illusion.
Yes.
All that stuff is not even real. Like,
Yeah,
so we're talking about, well, if he can't give you a Birkin bag, send him to the streets. Like, really?
exactly. But he loves you.
And people like little like young girls and stuff, or people, even grown women are looking up to these people who not even real.
Yeah.
But you can't tell them nothing. Like that stuff that they be doing be fake. It be planned. Even the low vibrational music, people believe everything they see.
Yeah.
They click on these pictures of these women with these fake bodies who had so many, so much money, stuff done to them and stuff. And people, oh, I wish I looked like that. No, look like yourself. Be yourself. You don't need to be like nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can't get mad at those people who are like that, because I
Right.
probably at a young age, I can go back to being a teenager and remembering that I was like that. Like I looked at Lil' Kim, I was like, yeah, I want that blonde hair. I liked her attitude, so I went with it. We look at these people, but it is a process to learn yourself. It is a process to figure out yourself and your self-awareness. And I say gather as many tools as you possibly can. Go use the astrology, use the tarot if it's of you. Go to people and get your numerology done. Go to people that you can trust, that can tell you more. Learn one of those spiritual tools. Master those tools and be able to do it. And it can help you, and it can help you to learn other people better. But you got to master those things. Like, you master hair, or you master anything else, cooking. This is something that definitely needs to be taught to children. And I teach my children that. I teach them how to read people's faces. I teach them about all those aspects. And I think it needs to start at home with the children as well first. Plant those seeds in their consciousness.
But then at the same time, a lot of melanated people are not even open to spirituality. They still stuck on Sky Daddy.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
They
I would
will
say
look into something that don't even look nothing like them, versus somebody like Papa Legba, or like the Oshun. They'll be like, oh, that's scary, but you'll look up to a man that don't even they don't even look like you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Jesus,
know thyself. Know thyself.
Right.
Know thyself. If we all out here healing, I can't help you heal if you don't know yourself.
Exactly.
It's going to be very hard for us to heal together if we don't know ourselves separate from this conversation. Like, sometimes, man, I know we on this recording and I know we trying to talk this relationship, but as was said, can be seen in my face, it's hard to contain this pain, man. Not my own personal pain, trying to separate myself from that, but my experience with my people. Like, we experiencing generational pain. We don't know how to deal with it yet, yo.
Yeah.
We don't know. We have yet to let go of it. We can't let go of it. Right? So many of us have died in various versions, whether on slave ships, on slave plantations, in slave positions. We've died, and yet there's been no conversation, just like even in the home, to start that off, like the pain of what got us here. So when we start stepping out into our relationships, trying to just keep it in the conversation of relationships, we almost don't even know how to talk about our pain first so that we can get better with it.
Mm-hmm.
If in the home, me and my mom or my sister never talked about slavery, then what am I really understanding when I'm communicating with a stranger that looks like me? What am I really understanding about our bondage or lack thereof together in America? We'll just keep it in America because we all live here, right? And so I don't really, it's hard. Sometimes I don't know how to stop not feeling the pain.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that. I want to fix it because I'm a guy. I'll say that I want to fix it, but I don't know how.
Why don't you want to feel it?
Because it doesn't feel good.
Life is in, if we go even to Buddhism, that everything is a moment. So not liking it, feeling or pain or happiness, or those are all moments.
Well, maybe my better answer is that it doesn't feel good in that moment. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get better with the moment.
Because you're going to keep going through it.
Yes.
Like tests. You know,
And
if we even go into transits, and even with astrology, you go through transits, you go through moon transits. So you go through moon transits every day, and you're taking through those frequencies to see how you conduct yourself and you deal with it. Can you get out of your depression? How do you get out of your depression? That's
why should you get out of your depression?
Why should you get out your? But these are questions you should be asking yourself.
Oh yeah, no, I feel much better. I'm not saying that there needs to be an out, but there needed to be a betterment of where I was, and that's where I'm loving my I pat myself on the back, but I do know it's not over.
I do see you healing. I see you healing from a fracture. I definitely see you healing. You are healing.
And I wear it on my shoulders as best as I can, because I am still a man and I don't necessarily need to keep my ego that way. But this can't continue. Can't. We got to fix. There I go again, being a man. We have to try to find a way to balance.
I think you just need to be you.
I'll take that. Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, vulnerability, like I think we mentioned, it's kind of hard for men. Like, what you do, crying. Like, and then also, if you're in a toxic relationship, sometimes some women can use that against you. Like,
yes, they can.
Secrets against you. Like, hey, what? I told you that when I was crying. It's like, yeah, get your ass out of here. Look, man, come on. I thought you loved me. Nah, I don't.
Matrix.
Yeah, I think sometimes the gloves come off and those type of things. Like, let me figure out what's gonna hurt them the most. Yeah. And that's so horrible. Why are we going to that point? I think even when men and women get into arguments, it's almost like, wait a minute. Let's stop the argument. What's the source? What happened today to you? Yeah. You know, are you PMSing? Maybe a little bit. Did just a coworker cuss you out? You're bringing it back home? Possibly. Yeah. Let's go look at our charts together. I'm a fucking nerd. Like, let's go look at our astrology together. Let's go figure this shit out, and let's look at it more so. Yeah, it's emotional, but it's some logic to it. So let's balance this out. Let's cry together. Let's do all that shit, because yeah, we're meant to go through this, but there's a 0 point. Let's find the 0 point. Let's always try to find the 0 point. If we can get to the 0 point, we're good. But it ain't gonna be like, oh, it's gun drops and lollipops. I'm sick of spirituality and just all that being so fruity and so light, and it's not. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's dark, and sometimes it's fucking ugly. Love that shit too. Love the ugly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Love all sides. Love when you're in the shit, because this is the time to say, how am I going to get out of it? Let me show the gods and goddesses I can be more divine in this time, and I can get this shit. I can get out of this. Who am I? Who am I? How do I make myself feel better?
Yeah, definitely.
And there's tools to understand that.
We gotta use them all, man. Gotta be Bob the Builder, Mr. Fix-It Man, all that. We gotta, yeah. I
love my people so much. I just know that we could be so much better. And I think that's where the anger in my voice or the passion comes from, is that, just doing this work and being on my journey for so long and being all over the country. It's just like, I love my people, but we have so much work to do in our consciousness and our hearts. And I just hope we get there. I think we are, with this age of Aquarius coming through, because, It need to be given back to the divine feminine, and it is, to balance it out a bit. I just say that Black women, we just gotta know how to love the Black man properly when we get our power back and not abuse it like it was abused upon us.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, I mean, anybody else, man, we done cooked up, man. We been cooking. Yeah, I love the conversation.
Yeah, I love that.
I got my stone on, so it's like I put that on. This is like a serpentine stone.
Powerful.
Heart chakra. Like you got on a balloon. Speak from your throat. I speak from my heart. My soul.
Feel me. You feel me. I'm with it.
Right.
Definitely. Yeah. The first relationship that's the most important is, to heal thyself and focus on self first, because we don't know who we are. You dating somebody else, got skeletons. Yeah, like it's gonna be it's detrimental. Definitely.
Yeah.
He's like, let all your skeletons out. Let's lay our skeletons out together and figure the shit out. Like, I know you got some, I have some too.
Yeah.
Just stop labeling it as dark. Stop labeling it as evil. And let's just say that this is shit you just need to get through and figure out, balance yourself out. It is dark, but it's there for a reason.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Darkness meets the light,
I'm an advocate for the villain. I've always been an advocate for the villain because I always felt like the villain is misunderstood.
Yeah, Killmongers to Joker. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
I am that villain.
Oh yeah, I'm
A lot of Black women feel like they are that. I'm not alone. I'm sure that there'll be many women on this podcast. They'll be like, we feel like that villain every time we hear it. Every time we hear y'all say certain things, it's just like, what am I doing wrong but being me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I think the silence, the podcast.
Yeah, man. Anybody closing feedback and solutions and anything else.
Let the ladies speak first. Yeah.
I spoke enough. I'll shut up.
I'm just taking in what everybody's saying.
Same, right? I'm trying to do the same. Sid, you started. You the guest, or you the host. Tell us, what are your thoughts? You've been like just sponging all of us.
Yeah, man, just absorbing everything. Yeah, man, it's everything. This conversation, it's important to know the wrongs and the rights of how to actually have a functional relationship. And some people are going in blindfolded, and they getting certain results, and then they cut off the next. The next man have to suffer through that. It's like, if you knew better, you do better, and that's a true mentality that we got to really comprehend.
So we can be better. Fuck yeah.
Instead of concerts, why don't we have big summits like these, like big summits where we have panels and people can come? Like, let's do more of that, of the community building. Like, let's get more.
We need the money. We need the money, Queen. We need the money. That's my answer. Once we finance our desires, we don't have to answer to nobody. That's what we're doing right now, learning how to empower ourselves, whether it's crypto, learning how to save, learning how to invest together.
Let's have summits where we can all come together, because there's are the ones who are.
Let's keep doing these free events. Let's keep doing them. Maybe use our platforms on some level to speak on conversations we feel comfortable sharing.
But like we just gonna go back to the that movie. What was that movie where she was just saying like, these are individual fingers.
Yeah,
when you ball up your motherfucking fist, what? We punching a nigga out. We got a lot of individualism. We got to come together in mass and start having these panels, but these panels need to have motherfucking solutions. Like, hey, you're going to go to this and learn about cryptocurrency. You're going to learn about this, events. Like, even my ex, we were trying to do community events all over the country where it was raising awareness about going back to Ghana, we had plans to go back to Ghana, like stuff like that, like knowing that there is life outside of the diaspora, like you can go to different countries and live. You don't have to live in America, you know, just summits like that. We need to have, instead of all the concerts, love music, yes, but let's also have these summits where we actually are coming together with motherfucking solutions, not just marching, because, you know, we had the Million Man March, we had the Million Woman March. No, I'm solution based. Let's get to the solutions. Who wants to sit down and have a round table about solutions for our getting our reparations, all that shit? You know, we got to come together more on those things and not just against each other and building up the Kevin Samuels. Said need to be, you know, built up. Milan, you, me, we all need to be built up and have our platforms, you know, some real ass people.
Yeah.
Not just these Kevin Samuels and Derek Jackson,
yeah.
and these, you know, Cardi B's and these bobo head ass women who don't have really shit to say. Like, we need those platforms, so we're gonna have to build that shit for ourselves.
Yeah, building leadership and community knowledge, Black. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you, Seth, for just bringing me on here, because, you know, I would not have this opportunity. You know, her rabbit hole podcast is small right now, so the opportunity to be on here is tremendous to me. You be pushing it too. You be like, come on, let's get on it. And sometimes I'd be like, here comes Sid, tell me be on podcast. But then, you know what? Every time it's like it's a blessing, and I'm thankful for it. Thank you for having me on here. Thankful for meeting Howard and Milan. Thankful for hearing your voice. Being younger, I'm glad to see a young Black woman with a consciousness like yours. I wish I was as hip to the game at your age, but I wasn't. I was a, what do you call it? I might have been a little ratchet, but you know, life brings you through to what you need to go through, and that's a blessing. Keep at it. And thank you, Howard, for showing many aspects of yourself and showing that
you make me powerful.
Vulnerability.
Thank you.
Vulnerability.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We gotta do this more. We gotta do this more.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I won't leave you hanging, Howard. You my brother.
It's all right, man. You if you see me on IG, I'm out here. Well, like I say, man, I'm out here trying to do something where it's a whole parallel universe, man. Like, we just got to do better, man. We got to find ways to do better. I'm better at leading than I am at following, but it's just harder. It's easier to follow, but it's just harder to lead, but I'm just better at leading. So I'm just trying to get better at the hard moments, you know, and I don't know, man. I want to, I guess, put it out there in the ether. I want to continue thanking the feminine energy and the masculine energy, but we balancing out here. We need each other. That'd be my last piece. Know thyself. We need each other.
Yeah. Staying conscious, crazy, man. Positive energy activates constant elevation and also love, man. Life's
bang, bang, bang.
Life's only valid expression, man. Appreciate y'all, definitely. Yeah. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.